KHOU 11 News This Morning starts now.
48 hours and counting. A live look here at flames at that chemical storage facility just raging this morning. We have live team coverage to keep you up to date as that fire burns and the smoke plume grows.
Today, a march on City Hall. Firefighters protesting Mayor Turner's impending layoffs as Prop B goes into effect.
And there is deadly flooding this morning in the north and in the Midwest. 3 people have died in the rising water. It's washing away homes and businesses there, and that natural disaster is far from over. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for waking up early with us today on a Tuesday. I'm Russ Lewis.
I'm Lisa Hernandez. It is Tuesday, March 19th. We want to start your morning with the latest from the fire still raging at a chemical plant in the Porte Deer Park area. That fire intensifying overnight, halting firefighters' efforts to fight that blaze. Let's get over to Cheetah Craft now to see how that fire is impacting air quality over Houston. Cheetah?
Yeah, well, we have to watch the plume and the wind direction to see exactly where it's moving. So I've put this on a map here for you. Where you see the yellow is where I'm expecting winds to continue to push most of that smoke here this morning. Now, what's going to be interesting, by the afternoon, clouds are going to continue to break and skies will clear. And I'm talking about pure sunshine later today. So it'll be a little bit easier for that smoke to move into the upper levels of the atmosphere and continue to mix on out. Now, overnight, the winds did die down. So what that can do is help trap some of that smoke and keep it at lower levels. So again, something, the officials will have to monitor through our morning hours. 50 degrees right now. We will talk more about your hour-by-hour forecast coming up in about 7 minutes. Good morning, Steph.
Good morning, Cheetah. This time yesterday, we were talking about that big freeway closure regarding the fire. Nothing you need to worry about that area today. So it's all about construction right now. So I want to take you straight to 288, where we have all lanes blocked in both directions. This is a long-standing project, but it should be wrapped up by this morning. Don't be surprised if they go a few extra days because of the weather, that they weren't able to do this project from weeks ago. But you will not be able to connect to the South Loop until 5 a.m. They're usually right on time with reopening that. And then through the Pierce Elevated on the southbound side to the East Tex Freeway, that connection also closed for some work. Russ and Lisa.
Steph, thank you. Let's get back to our big breaking story. This fire now raging for more than 48 hours at the Intercontinental Terminals Company, or ITC, and it shows no signs of stopping. Now residents in the Deer Park LaPorte area are expressing concerns about what this means for their property and their health.
Our Janelle Fort is joining us now near the ITC storage facility. Janelle, what exactly is happening out there right now?
Well, Russ and Lisa, the latest update that we got from the company is that this fire intensified overnight. There are now 8 tanks burning here, and I mean, just take a look. You can see the fire just continues to rage. Officials say firefighters are in defensive mode, using foam to prevent the fire from spreading. They keep saying the risk of an explosion is minimal. ITC says the fire will have to burn itself out. Yesterday, the company said it estimates that could take 2 days. Now, the number of chemicals burning here is now up to 3. They're naphtha, xylene, and toluene. All 3 are highly flammable, used to make gas, and they are all very toxic. Now, many of you have been asking about the risk to the community. Harris County Public Health released a statement saying air monitoring results had not indicated unsafe levels. ITC officials repeated that everything is within acceptable levels in terms of air quality testing, but officials are encouraging people to contact their health provider if they experience adverse symptoms like headaches, nausea, dizziness, or irritation of eyes, nose, and throat, among other possible symptoms. Now, this morning, schools are reopening in both the Deer Park ISD and the LaPorte ISD, and ITC says the next press briefing will come at 10 o'clock this morning. We'll be here for that, and we'll continue to give you guys updates as we get more information. Sending it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Janelle, there is a lot of information here. You mentioned the chemicals burning in that fire right now. We want to dig a little deeper into that. There are 3 of them in those tanks, all of them used in oil refining. The first is naphtha. That's a base material used to make high-grade gasoline. It dilutes heavy oil so it can move through pipelines. It's also used to make plastics, lighter fluid, varnishes, and asphalt. The next is xylene. It is found naturally in petroleum. It's mostly used as a solvent in paint, varnish, or shellac, and as a cleaning agent. You also find it in small amounts in airplane fuel and gasoline. And finally, toluene is a byproduct of gasoline production, a solvent with a very distinctive smell. You would find it in paint thinners, for instance, so you probably smelled that. It also can boost octane in gasoline. All 3 chemicals, as Janelle mentioned, are toxic. Short-term exposure can impact your nervous system. That causes headaches, dizziness, lightheadedness, vision or hearing loss. Any damage done, of course, would depend on just how much you take in and how long you're exposed to it.
Now that we know what is burning, people are concerned about what they're breathing, especially now that ash is falling from that plume onto homes, cars, and property. This morning, there will be independent air quality monitoring crews on the ground. But when the sun goes down, it's hard to see just how big that plume is. And as our Grace White found out, that's the concern for folks living there.
From the highway far away to the entrance of the city.
Oh, I love Deer Park. I mean, everything about Deer Park. It's just been a great community.
A community now overshadowed by a big dark cloud.
Every now and then you do get like a gasoline smell.
It's towering over Julie Johnson's house.
I guess my only question is, why did it get so big? Why couldn't it be contained?
And down below in her yard, ash is all over the ground.
Is it really safe? I know smoke rises and it's going a different direction, but obviously things like the ash and all that's just floating wherever.
It's all over the car. If it's on the car, it's in our lungs. We're breathing it.
But what they're breathing is their concern.
I started feeling sick. I'm not sure. I'm sure this has some effect on it.
Because the state's two closest air quality monitoring locations went down.
I want to know what time they came up and what was the actual data.
Back at Johnson's house, on her mind, what will be left behind after the smoke clears.
And what's going to happen, 5-10 years from now from this. Hopefully it'll be all right. I pray that it will be. So it's all we can do, I guess.
That was our Grace White reporting. The Environmental Defense Fund says they're working with the city of Houston to send crews out to make an air quality determination independent of ITC's results. We're keeping a close eye on this. We'll bring you any updates as they come in on air and online. You can download the KHOU 11 News app for breaking push alerts sent right to your phone.
That deadly shooting on a tram in the Netherlands may have been a terror attack, according to investigators there. Police did arrest a 37-year-old Turkish-born Dutchman who had a criminal record. 3 people died in that attack. The man charged with killing 50 people at 2 New Zealand mosques will represent himself at trial. New Zealand's Prime Minister believes the suspect is seeking more notoriety for himself. In just 3 days, 6 people have died in wrong-way crashes locally. That includes this wreck along Highway 225 in Pasadena. 2 people died there. And then there was a violent collision along the North Freeway near downtown yesterday morning. Houston police say you need to pull over if you do see somebody coming at you the wrong way, and get off the freeway if you can. And then once you're stopped, you should call 911 so you can help warn others.
Today, Houston firefighters plan to march on City Hall. In a tweet, the Houston Professional Firefighters Association says the march is meant to send a message as Prop B goes into effect today. Mayor Sylvester Turner has warned implementing that proposition will come at a huge cost to the city. The mayor says he'll use the city's fund balance, used to balance the city's budget, to give firefighters that 29% raise. That will leave the city with the $197 million budget gap. The mayor says that gap will force him to lay off between 400 to 500 firefighters and city employees, with those notices coming next month. The Houston Professional Firefighters Association responded to that, saying, quote, the mayor's claims are false, like his ever-changing costs for implementing Proposition B. The mayor's slash and burn plan for the Houston Fire Department is smoke and mirrors. The union also pointed out the city has spent millions of dollars on 37% raises for Houston police officers since 2011 without any layoffs. So this morning, we want your take. Who do you think is to blame if firefighters are laid off? Is it city leaders? Is it the voters, the firefighters union, or all of the above? Head to khou.com/vote now. Let us know what you think.
Later today, the FBI is supposed to release all redacted documents from its raid of the president's former attorney. They include the search warrant for Michael Cohen's home and office. That could give us a better idea of just how the investigation started and what federal agents expected to find during that raid. Congress will investigate how the FAA approved Boeing's new 737 MAX aircraft. Preliminary evidence does show similarities between last weekend's Ethiopian Airlines crash and another MAX jet crash back in October.
Today, Vice President Mike Pence will travel to Nebraska to see the damage left behind by flooding in the Midwest. 3 people have died so far as a result of widespread flooding across that region and northern plains. Thousands are being forced to evacuate. The Missouri River not expected to crest until Thursday.
Yeah, Cheetah's been watching that system and what it's doing to those folks. Cheetah, just incredible flooding there, a lot of water.
Incredible. Look at this system. I mean, you can easily see it here. Here's Omaha, here's Kansas City, Wichita there. This is going to continue to move in an easterly direction. So our jet stream is positioned actually just to our north, and that is one reason that this system will stay well to our north, tug most of the moisture along with it, and we are going to be left with high and dry conditions over the next several days. I'm talking mainly even through Friday. It's helping to keep most of the moisture here well to our north. So live look here, locate our satellite and radar picture. Again, we are dry this morning, but the big story has been, of course, where the smoke near the Deer Park area is going to continue to travel. And right now, because our winds are predominantly still out of the northeast, it's still continuing to push most of the smoke southwest of the area, and that's why a lot of people here in Harris County, southwest Harris County, maybe in the northern portions of Fort Bend and Waller County are starting to either smell some of it, see some of it clearly outside. You'll probably do so this morning, but check out a big wind shift expected by the afternoon. So again, we've been talking more east northeast winds. Winds will be shifting actually out of the east southeast as we head into the afternoon. So it's actually going to help take some of that smoke and maybe slightly change the direction just a little bit as the forecast heads into this afternoon. Then overnight winds kind of die down yet again for our Wednesday morning, and as that happens, most of the smoke will settle back. So we'll have to watch that. This afternoon, clouds continue to break, so we will see lots of sunshine, and that'll also help most of that smoke move in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Low 70s this afternoon. Take a look again, your 7-day forecast. Just picture perfect through Friday. We have to continue to monitor that smoke, but showers expected, Steph, by the upcoming weekend.
I can't believe the first day of spring is tomorrow, seeing it on your 7-day there. My goodness, it's gone fast already. All right, I want to go back to our Gulf Freeway Houston TransStar camera that I showed you just a few minutes ago, because what a difference 2-3 minutes makes. I saw traffic trickling in this area. This is the southbound side, so the southern part of the Pierce elevated approaching the East Tex Freeway. I was telling you that connection is closed right now, should wrap up in about 20 minutes. So they halted traffic to pick up some of those cones, not completely open, but we're making some headway there. And then as we head further south on that same freeway by U of H, 9 miles an hour, and that's approaching that Woodridge project towards the South Loop. And when we stay there but flip it to the opposite morning rush side of the freeway, breezy drive through League City into downtown. Russ and Lisa.
Steph, thank you.
It is 4:42 this morning. Ariana Grande wants everybody to do their Democratic duty. We're going to see how the singer is trying to get her fans registered to vote.
Twin brothers overcame adversity to become 2 of the best in college basketball. We'll meet the Martin brothers as they get ready for March Madness.